Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today it's our literature unit. We begin 3 days of talking about a selected work of literature that you might consider reading yourself. The work of literature we're talking about today is actually pretty difficult. We'll be very impressed if any of you out there actually try to read this from cover to cover. I've tried myself before and had trouble with it, but in any case, it's a famous book by the American writer. What's his name?
Herman Melville.
Herman Melville, right.
Yeah.
It wasn't Mark Twain or Edgar Allan Poe. Herman Melville. And the name of the book is Moby Dick.
Yeah, I have to say, I haven't read much of Melville. That's his last name, Herman. It's kind of an old-fashioned name. I always felt like Moby Dick was kind of a book for guys, because they're chasing after this big whale. And it's kind of... I don't know. It's a challenge between this whale, who is a mammal, and a sailor named Ahab. We're going to talk about him. He has a boat, kind of a weird name for a boat, Pequod. And then there's another character who also has a very strange name. It's strange to us, so I'm sure it's going to be strange to you guys too. He's Polynesian, so maybe they have more of this type of name in the Polynesian islands. His name's Queequeg, which is very different too. But anyway, let's get started. This is very famous. I just found out by searching the internet that there was actually a Broadway musical called Moby Dick, which I didn't know about. There are a lot of musicals that I never hear of because they open quickly and then they close quickly, and I never get a chance to go see them. But yeah, this is definitely a classic piece of literature, as we always do, guys. We're going to read through the plot. Tom's going to do that. Day 2, I'm going to read through the biography of our author, Herman Melville. And then day 3, we're going to talk about some of the themes that are found in this particular novel. Right now, we're going to get started. Stay tuned.
Call me Ishmael, says the narrator, before beginning his tale. Ishmael, a young American in search of adventure, hopes to find a place on a whaling ship. He finds himself sharing a bed with Queequeg, a Polynesian harpooner. Together they sign on as crew of the Pequod, captained by the mysterious Ahab. Ishmael is warned of a terrible fate if he boards the ship, but does so anyway. The Pequod sets sail, and Ishmael and Queequeg meet their new crewmates. They come from many countries and even include a harpooner from Africa. After a few days, Captain Ahab appears. He's missing half a leg, and in its place is a bone from a whale's jaw. Ahab declares that they will hunt Moby Dick, a white sperm whale famed for his size and aggression. Moby Dick bit off Ahab's leg, and now he wants revenge. For months, the Pequod hunts for Moby Dick. It soon becomes obvious that Ahab's dreams of revenge have become an obsession. He has a special harpoon made to kill Moby Dick. He ignores the Pequod's poor condition and even warnings about his own death. The ship's first mate urges him to give up the search, but Ahab refuses, admitting he's abandoned even his own family to kill the white whale. At last, they spot Moby Dick. The crew sets off in the harpoon boats, but Moby Dick destroys all but one. The whale then rams and sinks the Pequod. Ahab, standing in the final boat, wounds Moby Dick with a harpoon, but the whale smashes the boat and flees. Ahab, tangled in a rope, is dragged to his death. Of the whole crew, Ishmael alone survives the disaster.
So, guys, as most of our classic books that we have, there's more to just the story than you think. It's not really about a captain of a ship who is trying to get revenge on a mean whale because he bit off his leg. It kind of helps us learn what happens to people when something bad happens to them. Instead of forgiving that person maybe who hurt them, they destroy their own lives trying to get revenge. So there's a lot to learn in this, actually. We've got some interesting characters. So Moby Dick, the epic tale of the white whale. Now, if you call something an epic tale or anything that's described as being epic, it just means it's really quite something. If the story's epic, it's probably very long. There's a lot of really impressive things that happen in it. Could be an epic poem. It could be something that you go and do over the weekend. And as a slang word, you could say, yeah, the weekend was epic, man. It was really cool, really amazing. This is quite a long, amazing, adventurous tale of this man, Ahab, trying to get his revenge on a whale. It's kind of interesting, huh? That a man would actually sacrifice his life trying to hurt the whale back because the whale at one point had chopped off his leg or bitten off his leg, which is gross.
Yeah, I'd be mad about that too, but gee, maybe you ought to, forgive and forget or something like that.
Let it go, baby. Let it go.
Yeah, the whale probably didn't really mean anything by it, besides humans have been hunting whales for thousands of years, you can't blame them for trying to fight back once in a while. But in any case here, let's summarize the story here by starting with the first paragraph. It begins with someone saying, "Call me Ishmael."
Or Ishmael.
Ishmael. Okay. I guess that's a character from the Bible, but sometimes people take that as their name. I've never known anybody with that name myself. Have you ever known anybody?
No, but a lot of people get their names from the Bible. Like Rebecca is a name from the Bible, actually, originally. Yeah, Ishmael. I don't know anyone. This was the son of Abraham that was, Abraham took his son and was going to sacrifice him.
Yeah.
And just at the last minute, an angel comes down and says, no, you don't have to sacrifice him.
I think, Abraham was going to kill his son after his son told him that he forgot to buy him a Father's Day present or something like that. But then the angel came down and straightened out the situation. But in any case, if somebody is telling the story about other people, then that is the narrator.
True.
So, yes, I'm the narrator. John went down to the center of the city and he bought some new luggage, and then he took a trip to Japan or something. That would be what the narrator says, someone who narrates or tells the story.
You'll often have this role in a film. Maybe you hear someone who tells the story throughout a film or a movie that you go and see. Or there's a famous musical called On the Town, and there's a narrator, and that's his role. He actually tells the story as he stands off on the stage. So this is a person who's actually telling the story. And we find out his name is Ishmael, and he's beginning his tale. Ishmael's a young American in search of adventure, and he hopes to find a place on a whaling ship. Now, this is long ago. We're going to tell you in a minute, but Herman Melville was writing in the 1800s. So that would have been a lot of adventure back then to go and be part of the crew on a whaling ship. He finds himself sharing a bed with a character called Queequeg, which is an interesting name. We talked about that earlier. And he's Polynesian, and he's a harpooner. A harpooner is a person who uses a weapon called a harpoon, but it's a very long, sharp sword. Not sword, it's kind of a, what would you call that?
A spear.
A spear. A spear is a good word. That's very sharp at the end, and they use it when they go whaling. If the whale gets close enough or the fish gets close enough, they stab it with that harpoon.
Yeah, a harpoon is different from a spear in that it has a cable attached to it. Of course, if you throw it in the water, you need
lose
to,
it, right?
Yeah, you need to pull it back.
Right.
So it's got to have that line attached to it, a rope or something, and it's only called a harpoon when it's on a ship here.
Right.
So this particular person is from Polynesia, which means he's from one of the islands in the Pacific Ocean.
Could be Tonga.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Or Fiji or whatever.
Fiji.
Even New Zealand for that matter. And together they sign on as crew of the Pequod, captained by the mysterious Ahab. So they sign on, which means they join the crew of this whaling ship, which is called the Pequod. So remember, the crew here is the group of people who work on a boat or on a plane. And how many times have we said this? We've said this so many times. Don't add an S to this if you're talking about individual people in a crew. You can say a member of the crew. The crew refers to the whole group there.
It's the same with the word staff, guys. If you work for one company, everybody in that company is on that company's staff. Please don't put an S on it. I know it gets kind of confusing, but if you want to pick somebody out, you'd say a member of the crew or a member of my staff, like that. But don't put an S on it unless they're completely different ships. And then you could say the two crews from those two ships. But if it's one ship, it's one crew. Same with airplanes. Airplanes have pilots and the flight attendants. They're all part of the crew, the same crew. So this guy is mysterious, the captain, whose name is Ahab. And Ishmael is warned of a terrible fate if he boards the ship. But you know what? He's kind of a young guy. He's looking for adventure, and he thinks, what the heck? I'm going to go. Yeah, this will be fun. So if you're warned of a terrible fate, someone's trying to warn you that something horrible might happen to you. So stay away, but he ignores the warning. Moving on to paragraph 2, Tom.
Well, we'll actually move on to paragraph number 2 in just a couple of seconds right now. Hold your horses. We're going to take a break right now and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们首先来看到今天文章的第一个句子写着 Call me Ishmael, says the narrator.Before beginning his tale. 在这里呢，我们要特别介绍这一句，是因为史诗级的航海小说 Moby Dick 是非常有名的文学作品，同学不妨参照他文章开头的第一句，当作是你写作的第一句，是以对话开始，也是一个不错的写作开头。所以这一篇故事开始之前，叙事者说就称我为 Ishmael 吧，这样我们就知道他的主角是谁了。第一段的倒数第二句提到 Together they sign on as crew of the Pequod, captained by the mysterious Ahab. 那么这一句的意思是说，这两个人就一起签约成为 Pequod 这艘船的船员，而这艘船的船长则是神秘的雅哈。我们来看一下这几个重要的生字。首先看到 crew 这个字呢，指的是全体的船员。举例来说 The ship's crew struck 就是指这艘船的船员全部都罢工了。而我们常常搭飞机的时候也会听到所谓的 cabin crew， 指的就是全体的空勤人员的意思。而这里用了一个形容词来形容船长 Ahab， 他写的是 mysterious。 mysterious 是神秘的、不可思议的意思。我们常常说一个奥秘的宇宙，就可以说 the mysterious universe，也有很诡谲、很神秘的意思。He is being very mysterious about his future plans， 指的是他对于自己未来的打算显得十分的神秘。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue with our lesson again. This is Moby Dick, and it's narrated by someone by the name of Ishmael. He's an American looking for adventure. He joins a crew on the Pequod. The captain is Ahab, who is quite mysterious, which means they really can't figure him out. They don't know what he's thinking or how he's thinking. But hey, Ishmael, he doesn't care. He's young. He's naive. He wants adventure. He's looking forward to traveling and being able to come back and tell all his friends about his adventures. So he goes on this ship, even though he's warned of a terrible fate. Something bad might happen to the ship. Okay, let's move on now to the second paragraph, and it says, the Pequod sets sail, which means it heads out onto the ocean. It's going to sail there. And Ishmael and Queequeg meet their new crewmates. Okay, members of the crew are also your crewmates. Yeah, then you can add an S to it, your crewmate.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crew again is the whole group together. So we could say they meet other members of the crew. And these people in the crew come from many countries and even include a harpooner from Africa. That ought to be really cool.
Wow, they've got a real mixed group here. So after a few days, Captain Ahab appears. He's missing half a leg, and in its place is a bone from a whale's jaw. So back then, they didn't have artificial limbs. We have some really cool artificial limbs nowadays with our modern technology. But back then, if you lost a leg or had to have a leg cut off, they would often just tie a wooden post to the end of that stub, as we call it, and try to walk around that way. It must have been very painful. But this guy, instead of having a wooden stick attached to his leg, he's got a bone from a whale's jaw. Sounds like he decided to go get him a special sort of leg to tie onto the half leg that's remaining. And remember, it's a bone from a whale's jaw. Ahab declares when he comes up, from down below, that they're going to be hunting somebody called Moby Dick. And he's a white sperm whale, famed for his size and aggression. So he's not only huge, he's very nasty and he likes to fight. If you talk about someone who's aggressive, they love to get into fights with people. They don't mind even becoming violent sometimes. I've told some of my business clients, please don't use aggressive when you're advertising for someone to work at your company that you want to be a real go-getter or someone who's very proactive. Aggressive has a negative feel to it. Don't use aggressive, guys, for people. If someone's aggressive, it really does mean it's easy for them to suddenly hit you or yell at you or do something kind of violent. Be careful.
Right, be careful with the police, especially if they're showing strong signs of hostile aggression. They may want to beat you or arrest you, so watch out there. So again, this whale is famous because it's really big, its size, and because it's very aggressive. It's known for his aggression, and Moby Dick bit off Ahab's leg, and now he wants revenge. So revenge here is a noun. It just refers to when you want to get back at somebody. Gee, a couple of years ago, I was working for a trading company, and one of my coworkers started a rumor, and I got fired, so I really want revenge. I want to figure out a way to make that guy pay for what he did to me.
So revenge just means you're trying to do something that's going to hurt or harm someone else because they did something bad to you first. So you're getting revenge. He wants revenge. For months, the Pequod, that's the ship, hunts for Moby Dick. They're looking for a whale in a huge ocean, so I'm not surprised they don't find him immediately. It soon becomes obvious or very clear that Ahab's dreams of revenge have become an obsession. Now, this is the noun form of the word obsessive. If you're obsessive about something or you have an an obsession with something or someone. It means that's all you think about, that's all you talk about, that's all you care about. It gets a little crazy. Sometimes when you first fall in love with someone, you can be obsessed with them. And that's a little scary. Don't be obsessed because you'll scare off that person probably. Well, Ahab has a special harpoon made just to kill Moby Dick. He probably had to have a really big one made because Moby Dick is huge. So he ignores the Pequod's poor condition. The ship is in bad shape, guys. And he even ignores warnings about his own death. People are warning him, don't go after that whale. This time, he might just kill you instead of just bite off your other leg. So the ship's first mate, that's the guy who's right below the captain, and he's the captain's right-hand man. He's the one that is he's the one that's sailing the ship when the captain perhaps is asleep. He urges Ahab to give up the search. If you urge someone to do something, use a very strong tone. You're kind of pleading with them not to do it. It's something that you're very serious about. It might be because you're in a hurry. You're urging them to hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up. You're urging. So there's a sense of danger or there's not enough time. When you use this word urge, it's a verb.
Right. I highly urge you to go see a doctor because you've been acting very strange lately. So please go see the doctor. And the first mate urges him to give up that search. It's an obsession. You're going to sacrifice yourself and everybody else. Let's do some other things. Let's go fishing or something like that. And, of course, here Ahab refuses. He admits he's abandoned even his own family to kill the white whale. So, yeah, don't try to urge me to stop this search because I'm obsessed. I'm going to do this whether it kills me or not. So, at last, they spot Moby Dick. They see Moby Dick in the ocean, and the crew sets off in their harpoon boats. So they launch their boats from the larger boat with these harpoons in order to spear Moby Dick. But Moby Dick is smart. He's outsmarted them and destroys all of those harpoon boats except for one.
Wow, I would hate to be in a small boat and then come up against Moby Dick. Remember, he's huge and aggressive. The whale then rams and sinks the Pequod. If you ram something, guys, you hit something really strongly. We actually have an animal that we call a ram. He's got those curly horns on his head, lives in the mountains. Someone rams you, though, they're actually hitting you with a lot of intensity. Maybe you've had someone behind you that didn't see that you were stopping in your car and then rammed you from behind. It's not fun. Well, the whale rams the boat and sinks it, so he is pretty strong.
It would appear that way.
Yeah.
And Ahab is defiant, standing in the final boat, wounds Moby Dick with a harpoon, so he sort of gets revenge there, but the whale still smashes the boat and flees. To smash, again, means to hit something really hard and break it into smaller pieces. And then the whale flees, he escapes, he leaves the scene, and Ahab, tangled in a rope, is dragged to his death. So he's tangled in a rope. Of course, when things get tangled, that means string or hair or rope kind of gets wound around itself and you can't get it straight. Your hair might get tangled after you go swimming or something. It might take you 20 minutes to comb your hair. So he's tangled in the rope. He's caught in the rope. And as a result, he is dragged, pulled slowly to his death.
Ooh, and of all the crew, the whole crew, only Ishmael alone survives the disaster. So now you know why he's the narrator of this story, because he's the only one who survived against the aggressive and very big Moby Dick. And of course, Ahab, you know, he was warned, but he went ahead and wanted to kill that whale so badly that he ended up losing his own life. Right now, guys, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher one more time, then we'll be back.
这艘 Pequod 他的船的船长 Ahab 有个重要的使命呢，就是想要复仇，而他就想要杀掉这只抹香鲸。在第二段的倒数第二个句子提到 Ahab declares that they will hunt Moby Dick. a white sperm whale famed for his size and aggression。那么呢，他就宣称呢，一定要猎杀这只抹香鲸。而这只抹香鲸呢，它是体型非常的庞大，而且有强烈的 aggression， 也就是侵略行为的意思。第三段第二个句子提到，It soon becomes obvious that Ahab's dreams of revenge have become an obsession. 那么在这数个月来呢，一直寻找的这只大鲸鱼，而这个船长他沉迷于复仇的梦想呢，其实是非常显而易见的。Revenge 这个字在这里当作名词，指的是报仇、报复的意思。为了什么而报仇，加上 for， 对谁展开报复，则可以加上介系词 on。举例来说，村子里的人们用棍棒来打窃贼，来报复。我们就可以说 The people of the village took revenge on the thieves by beating them with sticks。 而这里的 revenge 呢，那么就是想要猎杀这头抹香鲸，而它已经成为船长的 obsession。Obsession 当作名词，指的是一种沉迷、着迷，或者是摆脱不了的一种思想。你可以加上 about 或者是 with 这个介系词。举例来说，他有一种不健康的念头，老是想着死，我们就可以说 He has an unhealthy obsession with death。 继续往下看，第三段的最后一句提到 The ship's first mate urges him to give up the search, but Ahab refuses, admitting he's abandoned even his own family to kill the white whale。当然了，这艘船的大副劝这个船长要放弃搜索 the search， 但是他拒绝了，而且同时承认 admitting， 注意哦，这里是分词构句的用法，他承认自己已经抛弃了他的家人，就是为了要杀死这头白色的鲸鱼。而 urge 在这里则是有催促、促使的意思。当然经过了很多的奋战，到最后你会发现，今天文章的最后一句写着 Of the whole crew, Ishmael alone survives the disaster。 整艘所有的船员当中，最后只剩下主角 Ishmael 一个人幸免于难。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
That brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Day one, of course, is a summary of our featured novel, Moby Dick. And in our next program, we're going to talk about the author, Herman Melville. We know you're looking forward to that. So please join us next time. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.